To another edition of Creator News Live. I've got a full house today. I've got, first of all, the amazing Unsinkable Connor Brown is back from his trip. We'll do a little segment because I want to ask you how that went. And then our good friend of the show, he's been on a couple of times, Ramon Ray is back with us today. This is going to be amazing. We're talking about protecting your business online because, we don't talk about that enough, but until something bad happens, and you read like somebody shuts you down, or you get hacked, or you can't log into Instagram anymore, all that kind of stuff, which is a big deal for us that's in the creator space. So we're going to be talking all about that today. Ramon, my friend, how you doing?
I am blessed. I am well, Jeff and Connor. Thanks for having me here in the California. As you know, for about 2 months I've been here at my end of my journey here. Then I'll be back in the vacation capital of the world. Connor's like, really? Vacation capital of the world, New Jersey. I'll be back there shortly. So, Jeff, it's good to be with you, man. Thanks for having me here, and can't wait to and congratulations on your show's growth and evolution and how it's morphed and growing. So congratulations to you both.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I wanted to say also congrats on being a new granddad. That's pretty cool. That's why you're in California, so that's pretty awesome. He doesn't look like he's ancient, but he's been around for a while, folks, so just keep that in mind. Connor Brown, on the boat, how was it? What do you report back? Were the seas calm, and was it clear sailing?
Just like my moniker says, I am still unsinkable. The boat did not sink. I was on a Disney cruise last week. It was great sailing out of Port Canaveral. A short 3-night cruise. It's had some Halloween on the high seas vibes to it. So it was fantastic, Jeff. And next week, I'm shipping back out. I'm going overseas to Ireland. The old man and I will be playing golf over there. So I'm a world traveler. That's for sure.
That's going to be awesome. That will be awesome. Yeah, so you have to be a report about that, too, because I've heard the golf there is pretty, spectacular. Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be pretty cool. So, so far, I wonder if I don't see any of our friends chiming in, so I don't know if, hopefully, we're bringing one out everywhere.
Probably because I'm here. So
yeah, so it's like Ramon. Connor, if you have a chance, check that out while we keep going here. I'm going to go ahead and hit go on the podcast machine, though, and we're going to get rolling. Here we go. Hello, folks. Welcome to Creator News Live. I'm Jeff C., and you're not.
And I'm Connor Brown, and this is the show that keeps you up to date on what's happening in the creator economy and so much more.
Have you ever wondered how to keep your business secure while growing your brand? Maybe you're curious about the real risks behind AI threats and deepfakes, or maybe you're looking for practical ways to protect your content and stay safe while creating online. Well, if those questions sound familiar, today's episode is for you. We're excited to welcome a guest who knows exactly what it takes to build a thriving business while staying protected. Ramon Ray has launched multiple companies, built a strong personal brand, and helps entrepreneurs guard what matters most. He's going to share his story, his strategies, and his best advice for safeguarding your business in a world where AI is rewriting the rules. So sit back, clear your schedule, clear your mind, and get ready for this week's episode of Creator News Live. Ramon, how are you doing today, my friend?
Jeff, I am well. I am blessed. I have my second cup of water of the day, which is always a good thing. Just had some pork chops that my wife made 2 days ago. I asked her to save it in the fridge because I went away. That's how tasty they were. So I am well.
Pork chops for breakfast. That's the way to go. Yes, it's the breakfast of champions. So before we get started, we've been doing a fun new thing for all our guests here on Creator News Live. We've got a theme song for Ramon, so I'm going to play that, and we will just keep going.
It's Ramon Ray, here to help keep hackers away. Learn how to guard what you've built today. It's Ramon Ray. It's Ramon Ray, here to help keep hackers away. Learn how to guard what you've built today. It's Ramon Ray.
So,
Jeff and Connor, I know this is your show, Jeff, but I'm going to take the reins for a minute. Please. That was beautiful. The time it takes to do that, the intentionality, just thank you. And that was such a delightful surprise. So
Well, thank you. Good. That's what we do here on Creator News Live. In fact, that one's a little. We usually try to keep them a little bit shorter, around 15 to 17 seconds. This one turned out so good. I'm like, I'm playing the whole thing because that is pretty awesome. So that was done with our friends over at Suno. If you want to make some AI music, that's what you do. But it is getting better and better, folks. That's the worst it's going to get right there. So very, very cool. We've got some more.
The remarkable part, though, is that was Jeff singing. That's your voice.
Yeah. I have a really great falsetto. Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah. So we got some of our friends chiming in. We got Amy Keys saying hello, and oh my gosh, look, she's so got such a big profile. There we go. We're gonna drop it down just like that. That's what's so cool about Ecamm. And we've got Rich Graham saying yo and waving hi. Happy Friday to you as well, Amy. And then Jim Fuse from Fusion Marketing is saying good morning, everyone. So this, and Kendra says outstanding. Kenna says outstanding hearing the music. So very, very cool. But we're just going to jump into this, Ramon, because there's a lot we need to talk about today. But before we get started on the kind of this first section, I know Connor's going to kind of do a little bit more. The song was something, but we need to do a little bit better.
The song was great. The song set the tone, pun very much intended. But if you don't know who Ramon is, you should, because Ramon Ray is Bitdefender's small business ambassador and a popular motivational keynote speaker and event host at some of the best and most impactful events around the world, including the Aspire Tour, Entrepreneurial Level Up, South by Southwest, Gary Vaynerchuk's VCon, and so many others. Ramon has produced and hosted over 200 episodes of the USA Today network show, The Rundown with Ramon, and he's interviewed all 5 Shark Tank original sharks and President Obama. He's also shared the stage with Deepak Chopra, Simon Sinek, Seth Godin, Gary Vaynerchuk, and other notable business leaders like Jeff and myself. Welcome back to the show, as always, Ramon.
You should have started with that, Connor. But yes, I have. But really, you guys do so well, Jeff, and you guys have a machine. Like, because of you, my Twitter following has increased. So Creator News Live is where it's at. Really, you all do a great job. So
it's a lot of fun. And if you ever have a chance to hear Ramon speak on stage, oh my gosh, he's amazing. He's inspiring.
Thank you.
Really, really great. So I've seen him multiple times at Social Media Marketing World, but he does so much more. So if you ever have a chance to see him, make sure you follow him everywhere and also see him on stage. But let's jump into our topic today because this is important. We're going to be talking about protecting your small business online. But first, I want to ask people in the audience, like, has your business ever faced a cyber threat, like, a phishing scheme, email kind of scheme, or have you ever got, like, hacked, like had like one of those things you downloaded and like, oop, I shouldn't have done that? So what are you doing currently to, like, protect yourself? Myself, I have used 1Password for years. I love it. They keep getting better. 2-factor, all that stuff that happens with it. So very, very cool. But what are you guys using? I want to know in the comments wherever you're watching. But Ramon, let's talk about this importance of cybersecurity, which that's a huge term. Like cybersecurity, you're the Bitdefender ambassador. That's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on today. But kind of talk with us about what are the threats that are happening right now? Like, what is the biggest thing that you are seeing in the space that businesses need to worry about right now? Because I think a lot of times we just don't talk about it, or we try to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, no, Jeff, and thank you for asking me. I think, listen, from the beginning of time, there's always been the criminal element taking what you have. Jeff is with his family, sees his wife's purse. We know there's money in there, and I'm nefarious, so I want to take that purse. Connor's puts his money in a bank, as all of us do. Criminals want to go to the bank or rob the stagecoach back in the day. We understand that, Jeff and Connor. And what we're talking about today, digital cybersecurity, the theft of digital data is no different. We have passwords, we have date of birth, we have online accounts, banking information, cryptocurrency, all these things and more are online. You take the theft of Target many years ago, right? Jeff and Connor, that went through one of their vendors, I believe it was like the HVAC guy, his simple little van, dusty, rusty, pulling up. The cyber criminal's like, great, Let's not go to Target. Let's go to them, target him because he's a small business. He doesn't have the resources to protect himself. Let's target him because he's connecting to their network and they got in. So the summary of it is what we're bringing out today, Jeff, and Connor, is really the aspect of, dear small business owner, or let me say it even better, Jeff, dear creator. You're on AI, you have the multiple screens, you have the keyboard, you're plugging in your thumb drives, or we don't even do thumb drives, your USB drives and all those things.
Right.
Are you secure? You backed up, and as you said, multi-factor, two-factor authentication, and all the things. That's why we want to be secure.
Yeah,
It's the main reason why I only operate in cash, and I have it hidden throughout various parts of this country, and you can only access it via Treasure Map. That's the safest way. Of course, that's not the safest way, but
Some of it behind the picture, like behind you, Connor, is some of it like if I move the picture, will I see?
Oh, yeah, there's a
$100
safe.
bills in
Yeah.
the picture behind. Okay. Got it.
I don't want to self-incriminate, or I don't want anyone to actually understand this, but it's very nearby. It's very, very, very nearby. It's actually funny because this brings up something that I know people in the chat are already mentioning, experiences that they've gone through. The latest one that I've seen is I've been getting just random Google meeting notifications. So it shows up on my calendar. It doesn't show up on my Gmail or anything. And it just says, it's often backdated, but it says Bitcoin transferred success, right? So they want you to click in it, but it's very off-putting because all of a sudden you see something on your calendar like that, right? So Treasure Map, go with the Treasure Map route. But Ramon, when we talk about these terms like phishing and malware and ransomware, a lot of the times these are just terms for people that know that they're bad, but they don't necessarily know why they're bad or what they are or how to prevent them from occurring or how to not fall into their pit trap. So can you kind of share in just simple terms what some of these threats, you mentioned, the HVAC guy coming to your house, but what are some of these simple threats that, small business owners, creators might run into every day?
Absolutely. And Connor, I want to go back to what you said about, getting the calendar invite. Just that thing right there that Connor said is a great example to start this conversation. Just be vigilant. Again, we want to understand, we want to live in a world, we want to work with people, but Connor just pausing and saying, okay, was it Jeff, Ramon, do we have a conversation? Am I expecting this? No, I don't deal with this kind of crypto, whatever it is. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to delete it. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is one way to be secure. Just be vigilant. But Connor, as you asked me, there's a few common cybersecurity threats that all creators, that small business owners must be aware of. One is definitely malware. Back in the day, like Jeff and I, like 1920s, Connor, you were probably born yesterday, but like back in the day, Jeff, you'd have to watch out for what we call today malware, but viruses. So that's one. Whether you're clicking on the website, whether it's a digital file, whatever it may be, something that's nefarious that often you click on or download it that goes to your computer, your phone, your tablet. So that's good old-fashioned malware, some malicious piece of code. Number two, you have ransomware, which has been an increase over the last several years, but ransomware, and that is where somebody locks up your data, locks up your computer in the greater sense of the word, and you pay them money, and most of the good criminals, pun intended, how do I get around that? They're like, great, you paid us the 50,000, the 100 million, whatever the number is, your data's unlocked because it is a business. So that's number two. That's the ransomware. You have these phishing attacks, which you alluded to, Connor. And the phishing attack is really simply where somebody's like phishing, you're going to fish where they're saying, hey, let's just give all this data that looks good. Your DHL package arrived. Your FedEx package arrived. Hey, Jeff, your home loan in Tahiti is through. They send that out to gazillions of people. All they need is a small percentage of people to click that to win because it's easy to do the bad.
Yeah, that is so true, and it's getting more and more sophisticated. Like, there's things now, we can talk about it a little bit later when we kind of talk about AI, but there's been like these like elderly people who people are cloning their grandson's voice and saying, hey, I've been arrested, I need some money to get out of jail, which is an old scam, but they've now taken it to the next level by using AI voice cloning. And so that's really scary. Like if your Nana hears your voice on the phone saying, hey, I'm in prison, help me out, Nana, of course Nana wants to help. So it's getting really...
Well, Jeff, I'm sorry. Can you just confirm, would your Nana rescue you? Would she send money to rescue you? Because I don't know. We haven't all verified.
My Nana would, but,
We would have to contact both of mine from the beyond, but I'm sure they would both be willing to give me
they'd be willing to
Jeff. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one of those things that is happening, and like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty savvy, and I'm having to tell my parents are always calling me like, "Hey, should I click on this?" I'm like, "Mom, it's okay, or don't. That's not that's not from the government, kind of a thing." So, and we've got people who have like, this is really scary. Jim, who's actually going to be on the show in a little bit, says my website has been hacked, but not my overall business. Which always makes me nervous because I've been hacked before, kind of the same thing. It was a WordPress kind of password thing, and luckily I had a backup and I was able to restore it. But you always start thinking, okay, what else do they have access to? Did they get something else? So because you're the Bitcoin small business ambassador, you obviously, Ramon, keep a pulse on the security tools that are out there. So what should we look for in a solution for our business or even our personal devices, like in your opinion? Because it used to be in the day you'd get like McAfee, like, what is it, antivirus, and you would have, everybody would have that, and that was just what you would put on there. But now there's even more. It's not kind of the standard as it once was. So what, in your opinion, what is having antivirus software enough these days, or do we need a more comprehensive like cyber security approach that covers everything?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's two parts, Jeff. And again, really honored to be part of Bitdefender's, small business ambassador team and help evangelize this. I think there's two things. One, definitely, Jeff, and I'll hone on this over and over again, it's simply being aware. So that's number one. Being aware, I think, is really numero uno, number one, just being aware before we click, before we come somewhere. Was it PayPal? Was it PayPat? Those small things, as again, Connor, as you alluded to, right? Your first one, hey, this doesn't look right. Was it me? A friend of mine, Jeff and Connor, she said, Ramon, I got a question about she's an accountant, about a loan from the SBA. Did you refer them? I said, good job. It's a small annoyance, but you checked and verified that I sent this person to you. So one is awareness. Number two, then, Jeff, to recap that, are the digital things that you can do on your own. Do you have two-factor authentication, where oftentimes your cell phone is text before you open it, or biometrics, some other option to let you in? So two-factor authentication. And then three, yes, I encourage people, download, install security solutions to your computer, to your tablet, to your phone. That's what we have at Bitdefender, or wherever you're comfortable getting it, but be secure. And so this third thing is important, because as the hackers are easier, like you mentioned, the phone scams. Back in the day, Jeff, what did you and Connor have to do? We would never do it, but the evil people, what would they have to do? Hire 500 people, hire 100 people in some boiler room, right?
Right.
But now, two guys with a latte and somewhere in the world hit a button. Good voice scams go out to Jeff's grandmother and Connor's grandmother and my grandmother and see what happens. It's easier than ever. So that's where you want good security solutions that also evolve with the cybersecurity threats, because every day they're changing. Every day they're changing.
So I was going to follow up real quick. I have a question. How often should you have your whatever tool of choice, Bitdefender or whatever, like because they can go, and I know, to the web and get like the new viruses and have the patches and all that stuff. Does Bitdefender have that daily where it'll like look for new things? How does that work for people who haven't done it before?
Any good security solution will automatically, behind the scenes, seamlessly do that, and Bitdefender does that. Once you install it, I don't like to use the word set it and forget it, because life should never be like that, but it should be seamless in the background, so that I got a text on my phone just a few days ago. An alert came up, this is malicious, we've blocked it, giving me the option to see, oh, it's from Connor. He offered me free cruises to Orlando on Disney.
Right.
Okay, I can unblock it. But most of the time, it could see through things like that and block it automatically. So yes, automatically updating it, automatically evolving. And what do they call it? The 0-day threat. I think that's the word zero. Zero day threats. When those come out, there's very little time. Nothing that you and I can do, Jeff and Connor, right? We're creators. But companies like Bitdefender and others who are working on these small business security solutions, they're investing millions and millions of dollars to try to be toe-to-toe, or at best, a step ahead of the malicious hackers out there.
Got it.
Just know, if you ever get an email from me offering you a free cruise, either A, it is a total scam, or B, I've just won the Powerball or something, because those are the only two ways.
I'm going to hope that you've won the Powerball, Connor, and I'm going to be waiting for not just my cruise for me and my family, but Jeff's as well, our cousins, our aunties, our uncles, the grandparents who we're saying are going to pay our ransoms, all the people, Connor.
We got to reward them. Yeah.
buy the ship out. We'll buy the ship out. But it's one of these things, Ramon, where it's like security is so important, right? We don't want these things to impede the progress that we've made in building our business, in the grind that we do day in and day out, especially as creators, especially as entrepreneurs. Every day we sit down, we say, what are we going to create? What are we going to put out there? How are we going to stay consistent, right? With all of these things, though, it's important to protect it. But how do small business owners, how do solopreneurs really set themselves up so that the defense is doing that? It's doing it in the background. Of course, we're going to stay vigilant, but we don't want it to be essentially intrusive to our progress of creating, of building a business. Do you have any tips around how marketers can really ensure that they're set up for security and success, but they can continue to hustle and grow without really having to worry about that?
Yeah, and you're right, Connor. It's like going to the supermarket and having something impeding you or anything you're doing in life, right? You want to have a as frictionless experience as you can. You don't want to be like you're getting on an airline and having to be, cavity checked going through TSA. Good people doing good work. They have to do it that way, right? But Jeff doesn't want to have his thousands of customers or followers do it. Neither do you, Connor, or myself. But a few things we can do. And I think, Connor, that's a great question. What do we do? I think one, as creators, continue to build trust, that people get a sense this is Connor's voice. This is how he sends things. His email newsletter comes in every Tuesday, comes in every Thursday. It's creator news live, et cetera, that we can train us in what we're doing. That's number one. Number two, train them that, yes, when I ask you for money or when you're buying from me, here's the process. Here's what it looks like. We only use this website link. So that's number two, kind of training, kind of education. Number three, listen, Connor, if it's something that you need to be secure, this goes back to the training, Jeff and Connor, of we use two-factor authentication. Jeff, I know it's a little pain, but you're going to get a text every time we do this, that, the other. Please just send that out. So I think that mixture of things, knowing your brand, right? Knowing your brand, this is Jeff's voice, this is his branding. Two, a consistent maybe domain, a consistent here's how the buy page looks. And then three, really training them. I know it's a pain, but we're going to ask you for biometric. We don't keep it. We don't store it. It's through a third-party security solution. That kind of thing, Connor, I think will help people feel comfortable. And we can do our best every day to win every day and not have the hackers and others malicious people win.
One thing, Jeff, on the travel agent side of things, my agency, we've just started to implement new systems that where people can sign off on their vacations and add their credit card so we can authorize those payments and stuff. But in order to do it, they have to set up an account, right? The account is super simple. They put in their email that we already have associated with them, and then they get a quick little code emailed to them, and that's how they log in. But it's protecting everything, right? So what have we done? We've created simple templates, simple email templates that we send to people and say, here's what to expect. And no one is ever worried about that. And they know it's in their best interest too.
And Connor, can I add one thing to there, Jeff? I just want to, may I, Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay, you always got to ask Connor. I didn't know whether he was going to say, no, I can't. And then he stopped the whole show. And
That's right. Boot you out.
Terrible. But Connor, to your point, and there's security on both sides, right? There's a security of your consumers, those who want to make sure they're going to the right place, going to an authenticated source. And then Connor, like using your case as a small business owner, there's the security of your business. So making sure that your small business, your team, your VA, your consultant you've hired, that every touch point they have, their individual computer, your network in your home office or in your corporate office, that's secure as well. So that's the two sides of that security rubric.
Yeah, very, very cool. We've got my friend Ralph from Grit and Growth Business saying, late to the party, but what a great topic. So many businesses don't understand these issues. Now, Ralph knows about it because he is an accountant. If you've ever had to deal with accountant stuff online, you have to do, usually have a secure kind of system that they use that you have to go in, upload those documents, download those documents. One of the things that, and I did not like it at the time when I used to do a lot of stuff about 5 years ago with Social Media Examiner, they would have a security audit every year, which means all the passwords would change and we'd have to do it. And we were all on one password and it was a pain. But now that I have grown and I have more things out there in the Ethernet, I need to make sure that I do that too. So we have that as well. We try to at least once a year redo everything. It's really easy with these new tools you have, but it's very important that you don't use like Jeff 1234. Like, come on, folks. Like, this is 2025. We need to think a little bit harder now on those things. And I like the ones that where you memorize a really hard long one and then it unlocks
Yep.
a vault kind of a thing. And so, and also when you're sharing stuff, like, come on, like you got to send those out in a protected way. Don't send them through text. Don't dump them in email. Those are just kind of things. I know this can be a little boring or like, oh, I know, Jeff, we got to do it. But so many people don't until something bad happens. So it's really important.
And even Jeff, that discipline of resetting the passwords, you're right. It's a pain to do. But think about, the employer you work for, companies we work for, all of us need to be secure. But companies like that, it's a pain. But kudos to them saying once a year, all 50 of you, all 75 of you, right? That's a small business. All 10 of you resetting everything. That little step right there, it's a pain, but it helps reduce the threat of cybersecurity break-in. So it's good.
So set it on your calendar, folks. Say, hey, this day we're going to change everything, and just set it every year. Like, get yourself a reminder. That's probably the easiest way to do that kind of social media password audit, I guess. One of the things I want to jump into AI right now and talk to folks about AI, because that is kind of raising the level of threat. So I want to ask the people in the audience, does the rise of AI excite or does it worry you when it comes to like your business? Like, I'm not talking about like taking over my job or whatever, but like a deep fake or somebody using your voice. Cause I can take Ramon from his podcast with 5 minutes. I can clone his voice to have him say whatever it wants. So does that, just wait. But does that concern you guys? Like, are you worried that, we kind of talked about the calls from your grandma, but that can be like your wife. That could be all sorts of things now. If you're out there in a public space, if you're doing a show, a podcast, whatever, your voice, your likeness, all that stuff is out there for the AI. So does that worrying you? I'd love to know what you guys think. In fact, because Ralph is in the audience, one of the things that I heard somebody was doing, they were uploading their tax forms to ChatGPT, which sounds like a good idea because you can ask it questions and you can see like, what am I going to owe in taxes and stuff. But you guys got to remember that when you upload stuff to ChatGPT, unless you toggle something that say keep this private, and also how well are they doing that, it's a little concerning. So personally, I would not do that. But I'd love to know your thoughts, Ramon, on this rise of AI when it comes to AI, deepfakes, and how we can stay safe.
No, Jeff, it is very, very scary. And shout out to the musical web Iana's here, Jeff and Connor. She has an amazing piano empire teaching people how to play piano and more. So thank you, Iana, for being here. But it is very scary. I wish I could say it wasn't, but AI is one of the most powerful forces, as you know, Jeff and Connor, that we have. And it's a powerful force for good, but it's also a powerful force for the hacker element, the cyber criminal element to use it. So here's my thinking on this. As you train more and more your customers, this is the domain we use. This is the social profile we use. This is how you can make sure we're sending you the authentic information. Only trust this. That's one. Number two, this is where it goes further, Jeff. This is not even about security. Build a strong brand. The more and more Jeff is out there, the more and more we know this is him. Somebody else doing something nefarious against him, we're going to give Jeff grace because, Jeff, that is going to happen. Doesn't it happen on Instagram? There's probably 50 fake Jeff C's out there. I know there's at least 2 fake Ramon Rays out there. So I think that's number 2. Number 3, I do think that this is where, though, cybersecurity solutions do come in, because on the, not just the deep fakes, but where it's so easy to leverage AI for bad. Again, we're using it, as you said, for all the productivity, but I can do type a few prompts. AI can help me do evil. So I think that's where then you want to make sure the solution you're using also is up to speed on what is the latest AI threat that can attack your business.
Very good.
And a lot of that too has come from the deep fakes, right? From the AI generated components that hackers are using. It's become a growing concern. We have some interesting stats around it. In the first quarter of 2025, there were 179 recorded deep fake incidences, which were more than all of 2024 combined. There was even a case where criminals used a deep fake call of a CEO to trick an employee into wiring $25 million. I've seen that kind of come into place with phishing emails, but never to anything of that scale. So Ramon, that of course is the craziest of it all, but they can target things that are much smaller and more researched and tactile for anyone. So how do businesses, how do solopreneurs go about just trying to verify if a video, a voicemail, or a request is real or AI faking it?
Yeah. Here's two things I would say. And Connor, on the second point, if I remember it, I'm getting a little old. I would love to know what you think of this, you and Jeff. But for the first one, this is where pre-vetted, pre-templated, pre-protocoled communications come in. Connor's my boss. I get a voice message text from him saying, Ramon, wire Jeff the $3,000. Small amount, right? Something, okay, probably should do it. But this is where let me authenticate this. Let me verify this via our previously agreed upon protocols. Don't let me just reply. Don't let me just click. Let me go to what we've pre-agreed on. So that's one. But a side note, Connor, and this is taking a little bit off the reservation. If it is, let me know. But I think this is where the human connections come in. How many people, let's say, Connor, that you were not a great boss, and I'm a little afraid to call you, a little afraid to verify. So it's a separate issue. You know where I'm going, Jeff, right? But when you have a great culture as well, and the human to human connection, it helps with that, because Jeff's like, Ramon, thank you. You did a good job. Thanks for calling me on the number you have and verifying it, where I'm not afraid to call you. I just thought of that. It wasn't techie, but it goes back to being human.
Yeah. I think, having a Zoom call, like if you're wiring money, like, hey, let's just jump on and let's talk this through just to be sure before. I mean, I think it's going to become more and more with the rise of this AI and being able to spoof things really, really easily. This is a great point from my friend Ralph, because I hadn't thought about this, but it makes sense. He says, may I add one more thing? Buy cyber insurance, because it will save your butt if your client's data gets taken. And honestly, getting your own data taken is horrible enough, but having your clients like, hey, Jeff, why didn't you secure this? And now I got hacked for, $500,000 or $1 million. I mean, like, that would scare me more than myself being hacked, because I know how much money I have. But it's really, really interesting. And he also says, when we were talking about uploading stuff to AI, he goes, great point, Jeff. This is where some practitioners will get into trouble with giving away client data. So once again, everything, if you're using ChatGPT to do an analysis for your clients, be careful. There are even some services now that are specifically locked down, and I think it was either Google or Microsoft, maybe Microsoft, that came out with a playground that's completely locked in for your clients that you can do. So just be very, very careful on that note. So the other thing, Ramon, I wanted to ask you, as content creators and entrepreneurs, we have to share stuff out on these platforms that we do not own. And I've read that, like, modern AI can scan a target's public social media footprint and craft these personalized scams. Like, they may know, oh, Jeff likes to carve and he goes to Disney a couple times a year. Like, do you think our online visibility is making us more vulnerable to things like phishing or impersonation? And what should we do as people who live our lives in public? I mean, you get up and tell us, like, what you had for breakfast, right? So somebody could say, listen, I've got a special deal on burnt toast and bacon. What can we do? Because I know that's what he eats almost every morning. So if somebody said, hey, Ramon, we're going to give you a lifetime supply of burnt toast and bacon, you'd be like, oh my gosh. And you would click something. You would click it. I know you, my friend. So how do we protect ourselves without going into hiding, like online? Like, I'm done with Facebook. I'm done with Instagram. Instead of doing that, because we still need to make money, because that's part of our job as being creators out in the public space. What do we do? Like, how can we be safe?
Jeff, I think what you and I do and Connor does is a calling. And my only solution for that, I'll try to give some tactical insight, but I think this is a choice that every day we wake up, we can be a hermit, we can hide, as most people will do, living normal lives. But it's Connor, Ramon, and Jeff who show up and do our shows, our podcasts, work with great brands like Ecamm. This is the choice we have. So in fairness, once you pick up the mantle, whether it's a mantle of faith, a mantle of politics, a mantle of being a creator of whatever lane you're in, this is what it is. So that's one. My advice is that this is just the nature of the beast. Number two, I would say be careful. So I don't walk around in paranoia, Jeff, but I try to be careful. Okay, is it my car's license plate? Let me get closer to my face so people can't see the exact address. Little things like that. Why not make it a little harder for the nefarious person? That's number two. And then number three, Jeff, I think we just have to be careful. We have to be careful. And I will give a shout out to the ladies. ladies, since I've been told this, I'm going to say it. This is not Jeff saying it or Connor saying it. Don't cancel them. But to the ladies, I think they have a maybe more difficult. Many ladies have said driving in Ubers, I've been accosted, or hotels, because they're women. It's a little different. We men are aggressors. So I just want to shout out to them. Ladies, you may need to be even more careful. Maybe you say what hotel you were after you leave. Maybe me and Jeff, we may do it on the day of. I don't know. But to the ladies, lady creators, I want to give you a shout out. You may even have to be more careful. I say that with honor and respect.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I used to, especially when my kids were at home, I would wait till after an event if I was going to an event, just to do that so people would know that I was not away from the house. That was just trying to be smart, I guess, about it. And don't let I think this is what you're saying, is don't let your desire for reach or exposure overcome your thoughts on safety, right? Like, think it through. Like, okay, if I post that I'm going to be in Cleveland for a big conference for a week, is that going to put my wife or my kids in danger or my house in danger or whatever? So, because, I can Google where Ramon's at and find out, oh, he's on a show right now. Oh, I could just go and plunder or Connor, even, like, with all this stuff hidden around the country with a treasure map. I just got to find the treasure map. And
you got to find the map.
Yeah.
Jeff, that's the thing, Jeff. We got to find the map, man.
I know. We're going to get it. So, so it's really interesting with Ralph and the stuff we're doing with AI and putting stuff online. We just have to be careful as we grow. Like, if the bigger you get, the more people will see you. What is it? Whenever the higher you get on the ladder, the more people can see your butt, kind of a thing. That's kind of really happens when you're a creator. So
taller you are, the harder you fall. And Jeff, when I was listening to another podcast, I mean, yours is the best, but I was listening to another podcast, like 7th level, 10th level, podcast. One of these guys, he had a mansion. Somebody was like, who's the boxer, Jake Paul?
Paul. Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't him, but one of his buddies. My point is, they're saying they live in a mansion, they have security, they have protocols, they have lights, camera, action, because they are a creator. Their fame, and I hope we both are. I hope all of us here on this show, as it grows, it's a choice. He's not going to shut down his live stream. Everybody knows where his podcast studio is. I mean, this is the world we pick. But with that now, he's had to slowly evolve and enhance his security. It's just the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, totally get it.
So, looking ahead, though, I think there's two sides to this too, right? There are things that we still need to be cautious of and vigilant of with AI and all this new technology, but I would have to assume that that's also going to help us in the long term, maybe protect us more or something like that if we use it properly. So, Ramon, as we look ahead twofold, what are you personally most concerned for small businesses when it comes to these hackers and things to be vigilant on? And on the flip side, what emerging tech like AI and stuff are you most excited about that you think could help small business owners, solopreneurs, creators succeed by staying safe?
Yeah. I'll give one example of this. And Connor, you have full permission. Bring me back to the range. If this example is go far off the range, just bring me back, Jeff and Connor. So here's how I would answer the question. I recently rode in the Waymo driverless vehicle. I think they're in Arizona, they're in California, there's some other places. Yeah. It was amazing. If you haven't ridden one, by the way, Jeff or Connor, have you ridden in a Waymo yet? Waymo driverless car?
No,
have not yet.
Not yet. Great. So I did it. It was amazing. So I'm about to say, we're going through this, what we're going through with tech. What if it crashes? What if it's not safe? What if something happens? All that, Connor and Jeff, is going to happen. But it is what it is. This happened when the vehicle first came out. So what I'm trying to say is that we are always going to be in a place of bumbling along. The hackers, the cyber criminals, they're going to win once in a while. But the message of the day for me, especially being Bit Defender, small business ambassador, is how do we simply reduce the threat? So I'm a harder target. And I think that's the message. How can I be as hard a target as I can be by being vigilant, by having software installed, by training my team, by me having simple protocols in place, 2-factor authentication. That's a big, easy thing we can do. Those things, Connor, because I think whether it's 10 years from now, 5 years from now, next year, technology is going to evolve. People are going to hack Connor's Keurig machine, but hopefully his fridge will have something on it that makes it a little harder, and they'll go to me or Jeff instead and won't steal Connor's Dunkin' Donuts creamer.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Thank God. One can only hope.
I don't know. Are you old enough to drink coffee yet, Connor? I'm not sure.
I have to ask my mom usually.
Yeah, ask your mom. Yeah, see if it's okay. Yeah. It's funny. So, do you guys remember when LifeLock came out? That was one of those things. and his whole thing was he would drive around on the billboards and he would have his Social Security number. And of course he got hacked. And I'm like, that was horrible for the brand. So you've got to be smart. And then like Jim says, and I think it was my Kansas City Chiefs this happened to, was that they knew they were playing a game or they were traveling and for the NFL players, and they were going to their house and breaking in and stealing stuff. So
Burrow's house got sold too. Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you've got to be smart. Like I have my cameras running right now because I'm in my portable building because and this will probably never happen, but I'm here. I'm not in my house. Somebody could say, oh, Jeff's on a show right now. Nobody's there. So that's why I have security and turn on everything when I leave. So,
and Jeff, can I just sorry, I just want to go back to that point, Jeff. Going like you said, the NFL players, or was it NFL players?
Yeah, NFL. Yeah.
What to do, Jeff? These are public figures, and at some point, you get to some level. We know where the president lives, or Taylor Swift, or Beyonce. They're so big. With a little reasonable search, you can find it, or you pay some money. So I just wanted to hone in on that point. Don't live in fear, but live smart and live cautiously, especially to the level you're at. So I think, but you're right. The NFL players is a great example. They're all out. We know their games. We know where team XYZ will be in 2026 or whatever, or we know where they'll be in 2 months. We know it. It's already out there. But just live as smart as you can be and take due diligence.
So this is a great tip from Ralph, especially we were talking about like if somebody clones your voice and Nana is trying to talk to you and she's like, I'm not sure this is you. Ralph says, here's a great tip. When I was in corporate security, have a secret phrase that you share with your loved ones that they can confirm that it's you speaking to them. And because I think that is so that's a great idea, Ralph. We have one too. And so if you get that call,
yours, Jeff?
I'm not going to say it out loud. It's like
Jeff's is chocolate covered pork rinds. It's his favorite food.
That's Connor. Jeez.
Sorry.
I got to come up with a new, and I got to call all my family now. Jeez, Connor.
Connor's his treasure map. I think that's his treasure map.
Yeah,
that's
treasure map. Yeah, it's actually
right under your nose. Yeah,
that's right. It's printed on his. He's got a tattoo of it. Like what was that? Memento. Anyway, so we forgot to talk at the beginning of the show because I was so excited about security. We want to thank our sponsors here at Ecamm for sponsoring the show. If you find out more about them, go to ecamm.com/Jeff. You can save 15% on your first purchase by using the code Jeff15. They are what makes the shows possible. If you're going to camp in a couple of weeks, I will be there beginning October, so it's going to be a blast. And now I've just announced it, everyone, where I'll be, which we just told everybody not to do. But anyway, I will be there. My house will be locked down. There's nothing here of value anyway, so please just move on along. But yeah, I'll be there, ecamm.com/Jeff. I think they have a few tickets left for camp. But because Ramon's on here, and we've talked about security, all the cool stuff, making sure that we protect ourselves using tools like Bitdefender. But we've also kind of tilted a little bit into personal branding, and Ramon is a genius at this. It leads to speaking events for him. It leads to partnerships like with Bitdefender. But I wanted to talk about a little bit about personal branding, and I want to know from the audience, how do you balance your hustle with your personal life? Like as Ramon and I have been doing this for a long time. Connor has he's got multiple businesses that he's doing. He's got Vacation Kingdoms he's running. He's doing all this cool stuff. But how do you balance that? And we hear the term work-life balance, which I have a little bit of problem with. But Ramon, how do you set those rules to make time for your family, yourself, or finding that balance? I mean, you're right now in California because you had a new grandbaby. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to keep that private, Jeff, but I'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
How do you balance personal branding, the showmanship, the show ladyship, being out there in your personal life? Great question, Jeff. And I think a few things to do. One, educate your family and friends of what you do so they understand why you post video, why you go live, why you want to take pictures, so they understand what your job is. I think that's one. Number two, understand that you don't have to be on all the time. You're taking your wife out for her anniversary, for y'all's anniversary, taking your child out, whatever it is. Maybe you take a picture, maybe you take a selfie, then you put your phone in your pocket and you enjoy that time with them. So that means being appropriate, prioritizing those moments. That's number two. Number three, I believe be careful what you share. Jeff and I and Connor probably share quite a bit, but there are limits. People may think I share everything. I don't. So I think those three things are how I have a balance. A, the appropriate timing. Two, I don't have to share everything. And number three, educating my family. This is what I do for a living. You have a quieter job being an accountant. For me, it's the showcasing of my world. It's what I do, and my family understands that.
That's great.
I love that. And so when we talk about building a personal brand and the importance behind it, we talked about it a little bit before. You know, the reason that people gravitate towards us is because we have a personality, because we show up, we put ourselves out there, right? It's something that AI can't do. So Ramon, we know you're a huge proponent of building that personal brand so that people can connect with you and then do business once they believe that that connection makes sense. Your book is literally titled The Celebrity CEO: How Entrepreneurs Can Thrive by Building a Strong Personal Brand. So why do you believe that building a personal brand is just critical for small business owners, for solopreneurs, for creators? And what advantages have you seen that it has given entrepreneurs when it comes to building their personal brand?
I love the question, Connor. Let's take a look at Vacation Kingdoms. Vacation Kingdoms is a corporate brand, is a brand. You know, maybe nobody has to know who founded it, who started it, whatever, and grow that. That's an asset. Maybe you'll sell it, have partners, etc. Got it. But then, Connor, you are an asset to Vacation Kingdoms because you can be on this podcast. You can talk, you can show up, you can smile, you can shake hands. So if that little example helps, let's take a look at my role with Bitdefender, Connor, right? Bitdefender is a huge global company, huge. But they still said, we want some budget because we want humans to still represent us. So that's why I tell every business owner, build your corporate entity, your corporate brand, that's great. But also understand, especially for us smaller businesses, you are probably the biggest asset for your brand because business cards can't do deals. Only people can do deals. And of course, AI bots. So that's what I say.
Awesome. And Ralph once again chimed in and said, oops, that's wrong. There we go. He says, for me, balance does not exist. I think it's a complete false thing. I think intentionality and being present with intention for your loved ones, I think that's great. I think for me, it's seasonal. Like when my kids were in the house, I did not take as many speaking gigs as I do now, just because I wanted to be home. Like that was the thing. That was just it. Now that they're out of the house, I have more flexibility. I'm doing more things. Wife gets to travel with me sometimes. And so that's, for me, it's seasonal. And like my parents are going to need my help eventually. That's going to change my life as well. That's coming. That's going to be another season of my life. So I like to think of like not work-life balance, because I don't think it can ever be balanced, especially with creators. It's so much a part of our life and who we are, that I think it's seasonal and it's going to change. And I'm ready and know that's going to happen. So on your book, Becoming a Celebrity CEO, you mentioned it's not about ego. It's about building relationships, trust, and a community of fans. So for people who haven't started yet, or maybe just getting started in their journey, what are some of those practical steps that you can do to build that loyal community around your brand? Like what can a small business owner or creator, how can they start positioning themselves as a go-to person in their niche without being like having a huge budget, or like, a huge company like Connor's that, we're getting started? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love that question, Jeff. And here's what I would say is that one tip, and I can go on this. You tell me how many hours you want me to go on this, like it's 6 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours. One thing I can say, Jeff, is that don't be afraid, or get comfortable rather, with the power of self-promotion. That's the one nugget I can give, because I think that stops people. No, it's all about my company. Oh no, it's all about we. No, I don't want to be on the show, Jeff. But you're doing a disservice to your future customer if you provide water solutions, water cups, whatever silly examples. I hold up this cup here. Somebody needs this. Somebody needs it. And by you not being there to showcase it to them, that means they're going to the competition, or you're depriving them of working for you. So that's probably the one thing I would do to reorient your mind, that I think most people believe in sales, but part of the sales process is about building trust. Part of trust is about generating awareness, and all that is about being the celebrity CEO of your industry, which is the power of personal branding.
We're going to talk about balance though, still, right? Because we work hard to build our businesses, and it's late nights. It's, answering that email when a client thinks it's an emergency. It's not an emergency, but you still want to answer it just to let them, be at ease and those sorts of things. Constant networking. Like, these are the things we need to invest in that take a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of, our daily lives in order to build the businesses we want. But Ramon, you're so wisely point out how we still have to remember to hug our kids and love our spouses too along the way. So how do you personally manage that balance when it comes to grinding and showing up for your audience and for your business, but then also showing up for your family and your friends and those relationships? How do you go about finding that?
Yeah, a few ways I've done this over the years, Connor, and thanks for giving me the chance to share about this. I think one, starting in reverse order, is what I'm doing right now. As I'm in California, been here for 2 months. I came here, yes, I'm very happy my daughter gave birth to her first child, my first grandson. I'm happy for them. But more importantly, equally, I was really here for my wife. My wife wanted to invest the time to mother our daughter, and I said the best thing I can do, Connor, is to be here to support her. So I took my screen, packed in a luggage, my lights, my camera, my microphone, all the things that we do, because we're on Creator Show, right? That I had here, and I packed that, and I was able to be 2 months. That's one, what I did in reverse order just now in this season. Second thing, and Jeff has alluded to that he's done, and I'm sure you've done things like this, Connor, as well. I brought my kids with me on the journey. I've been married 30 something years. I'm 52 years old. My kids have been in a plane since they could travel, been able to travel with me. Tell the client, hey, listen, I can come. Oh, you have no money to pay me? Great. Can you give me a suite and fly my wife? Things like that, right? Jeff and I talk about this all the time. So that's number two, integrating my family in it. Three goes back to the power of education. They know what dad, in the case of us three men here, what dad does, and that helps a bit. So those three things, I think, are what I do to have that balance or have that harmony, have that calibration, because we have to make a living. And guess what, gentlemen and ladies who are listening, it so happens we love what we do, and that's a privilege. That is a privilege. Most of our peers, they may not. They're working, they're providing for the family, but they may not wake up excited every day to do what they do.
Yeah. A friend of mine from our mastermind, he always says, I don't know where he got it from, but I'm going to give him credit. Rich Watts says, pressure is a privilege. And I'm like, ooh, I like that, because a lot of this stuff is self-imposed and imposed pressure, and we are blessed to do, like, I can broadcast this through the world. Like, this was never, like, when I was a kid, this wasn't even possible. So it's just amazing what we're able to do now. And Amy, a friend who's also in our amazing mastermind, says, such a great question. We don't talk about this enough. And the balance thing is something we really do. And then Asa, I think, says, I wholeheartedly agree. Self-promotion is absolute in the development of personal branding. Here's the thing. You don't need to promote as much as Ramon does. That's his personality. That's what he does. I do self-promotion, but I do it in a different way. Like, I make a lot of clips of this show spotlighting my guests. That trickles down to me. That's what I'm comfortable with. I won't do things like Ramon does. Ramon doesn't do things like I do. Connor will do something completely different. He'll go drink around Disney because that's his thing. So that's it's a great channel, by the way. But so you can do it your own flavor, your own way. So you don't have to copy exactly what Gary Vee or Ramon Ray or somebody like that is doing. So I think that's really important. So one of the things, oh man, I could talk to you all day, Ramon, but I want to talk about, you are known for being unapologetically positive and passionate. I mean, that's your whole social feed is this. So what drives that optimism and energy for you, even when business gets tough? Like, I'm thinking back a couple years to COVID. That was rough for speakers. Like, that was really rough for speakers. And how can other entrepreneurs look at you as an example to cultivate a more positive, resilient mindset when they're juggling the stress? I mean, it's stressful, right? It's running a business is hard. A creator business is hard. So how do you encourage people if they want to go down the same path Ramon has done?
Well, thank you, Jeff. And I'll just say I receive that. Thank you for those words. I will receive it and say thank you. A few things I would say. Creators, understand business. Understand business. That's the number one thing, Jeff and Connor, that I see goes wrong with creators. I'm a creator. Yeah, I'm glad the show's called that, Jeff, because that's the English word we use, and I get it. Keep the show name. But the point is, we are also in business. Understand profit and loss in business and customers acquisition. Understand all those things. That's number one. Number two, understand who are my customers. Who are the people who may pay me to do something? And then number three, be very dialed in why you're doing it and who you're serving. When I think about Jeff, Connor, myself, I love the three of us here. We have three different slices of how we show up, what we do, who we serve, what we sell, how we make our money. But look at us all three here on this amazing show. So that's what I would tell dear creator who's starting out. Understand the art of business, understand the path to money, and three, understand the aspect of who you're talking to, who you're serving, because those two things together is how you'll make a living doing this, just like Jeff, just like Connor, who both have so much, way too much money in the bank account. That's why I'm here to learn from them.
That's right.
We're gonna get a little meta to kind of end the show, because Ramon, you've mentioned it a couple times how you're a new grandfather, which is awesome. Congratulations on that. You're a very introspective person. So over these last few months that you've been able to spend with your new grandchild, how has it changed you? How has it changed your view of work and life being balanced? And more importantly, how has it changed your vision of what you think success is with all of this stuff that we work so hard to achieve?
You always ask these questions, Connor, that makes me like answer in a roundabout way. I love it, man. So here's one thing I've been thinking of, and I thought about this for a while, Connor. But one of the desires I have, not that I probably couldn't do it right now with, some credit cards, whatever it is, but I'd love to like rent a big Airbnb, fly all my family in there, maybe Orlando, and do some, one of those bougie Disney type ticket things like that. And maybe I'll do it through you, Connor, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'd love to do. And that's a transactional thing. But where it's leading to answer your question, being a grandfather, it shows me that I've had a season of providing for my family. But at the age of 52, now how can I be in a season to safely scale a bit bigger and make sure I have something for legacy and generations possibly after me? That's harder to do. We all can't be Chick-fil-A, Home Depot, take your pick. But can Ramon maybe do that? So that's kind of what's going through my mind as I hold that little human. How can I do something for his children?
Love it.
That's awesome. That's a perfect way to end the show, because I want to pull up this comment from my friend Amy Keys. She goes, I love all of the positive that the three of you bring to the world. It is so encouraging. Being an entrepreneur can be a lonely place, and your communities feel the support. So thank you for that, Amy. Yeah, that's what we try to do. That's what Ramon preaches. All his social media is that way. So if you don't follow Ramon and you want to feel better during your day, make sure you guys check out his Instagram, all his stuff that he puts out on socials, because he really is a really great positive voice for good in this world. But Ramon, before we end up, I want to let you have a few minutes to talk about like what you got going on, what you're doing. The floor is now yours, my friend.
Thank you, Jeff. I just want to say, one, it was great to be here today, and thank you for having me. And I think I'll end, Jeff, by just saying, if you can wake up every morning and make an impact in somebody's life, there are so many people in life, Jeff and Connor, who are hurting. Who just need to be told, I love you, or I care, or smile and say, hey, Connor, don't know who you are. We're in line at the bathroom at the airport or something. And hey, have a great day. So I think I'll end on that, just to say, go make an impact in the world, and let us be the people who can add positivity. Us be the people who choose change, because we know there's people out there ready. They choose the negative. They choose horrific things. They choose to do the most terrible things. So we need more warriors of positivity who can make the world better. That's what I want to say, Jeff.
I love that. Warriors of positivity. That's amazing. The unsinkable Connor Brown, what is going on with you? What do you got planned? What's happening in the world of vacation travel plans?
So much is going on. So many places to travel to. Follow along at vacationkingdoms.com, and follow me across the social medias at Vacation Kingdoms. I'll be having some cruise recap videos coming up very soon, hopefully this weekend, the cruise I just took. And reach out to me. Let me know where you want to go and travel to next.
Awesome. Yes, Connor is my go-to guy when it comes to travel. He's actually helping me with a little trip coming up to Universal, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah. By the way, folks, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for our sponsors, Ecamm. You can find out more about them at ecamm.com/Jeff. Save 15% by using code Jeff15 at your first purchase. It's really, really great. So eCam.com/Jeff. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Asa. All you who stopped in and watched the replay or left comments. We wouldn't be able to do the show without you. We appreciate you. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.